Morning everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're heading down to UMart to go check out some new processors. I've been editing videos on Premiere Pro for a while, and when I first built my computer about 5 years ago, I bought a Ryzen 5 1600, which at the time was kind of the bee's knees of processors when the Ryzen series came out. So I'm going to be looking today at upgrading to a Ryzen 9 3900X, which is about the price point I'm willing to spend, and it's well up there in terms of processor power for Premiere Pro and other applications such as gaming and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll go have a look today and see what we can get. So if we end up grabbing the processor today, we're not 100% sure if they will be open, just due to the fact that there's COVID stuff going on. We don't know if the hours have changed or anything, so we're just going to make sure they are actually there. If they are, we'll bring it back home, chuck it into the computer. I'll do a few little videos of putting it all together, and give the computer a good clean out because it's quite full of dust. So we'll make sure it's all clean and go from there. So we've just pulled up to UMart. Looks like they are open, thank God. Came all the way out here. It's only about half an hour. We're going to head inside now and hopefully we've got the bits we need. Otherwise we're going to Brisbane. So due to all of the coronavirus stuff that's going on, they don't actually have any processors there due to all of the extra, I guess, people buying stuff because they're all at home. They have heaps of them at Brisbane, so we're going up to Brisbane maybe. We have to order online and then wait for an email saying that it's ready to go. Then we can go pick it up. It's only in Milton, so it's another maybe half an hour from here, so it's not terrible. Yeah, bit of a pain, but we need the bits, so we may be going up there today.
Also, thanks for flexing a photo of me.
Oh, yeah. Check out this beautiful thing. Alrighty, so we're going to go grab some lunch. I've placed the order online and we need to wait for an email saying that it's ready for collection. So we're going to go grab some sushi, have a nice feed for lunch, and hopefully we'll get an email soon and can head up to Brisbane, pick up the bits, come home, and fingers crossed that everything works. So unfortunately, the sushi shop was closed. Sad times. But fish and chips.
It's not that healthy, but oh well.
Oh well, it's food. I mean, sushi isn't that healthy either.
Better than this, though.
It's better than this. Well, we're gonna have a feed and then hopefully we'll get an email soon so we can go pick up that processor.
Trust, yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
Alrighty, so we've pulled up at Milton. It was about an hour drive from where we got lunch. So I've finally arrived. Gonna go grab the processor, it's ready to collect. And while we're here, gonna look at potentially a new motherboard and graphics card. Going to see what they've got. And here, a bit hard to see. It's lighting, there you go, AMD Ryzen 9 3900X, 12 cores, 24 threads. 3.8 gigahertz base up to a 4.6 gigahertz at its max boost setting. So it also comes with the RGB, I think it's called a Wraith fan. So there we are. There is our AMD Ryzen processor. Go Ryzen 9. And of course the sticker. Extra 2 gigahertz when I put that on. Also a very nice looking piece of kit. It's definitely a much bigger unit to what I currently have, which is the old fan that came with my Ryzen 5. If anyone's interested, I can post up a full list of my entire PC, what parts are all through it. I'd be more than happy to do that. Okay, so I've booted up the computer and installed the chipset driver from Asus's website. And now I'm going to be rebooting with the new CPU installed. So I went ahead and downloaded the new updated BIOS driver and put it onto a USB stick. So as I go through the BIOS and select update, it'll be able to go straight off the USB. By the looks of things, there's 4 screws holding the cooler down, and then I'll pop the clamp open, slide the old CPU out, slide the new one in with the new cooler. Hopefully it clears. I was a bit worried about clearance, so you can see the RAM sits really close to that cooler fan there. It's pretty much touching it, so it'll be interesting to see how that all goes, and hopefully it'll all fit. If not, I can move those RAM slots across into the next set of bays, but fingers crossed it all works well. Processor is now out and back in its little special carry case that spaces out the pins from the back of the plastic. If it decides to focus, there we go. So it spaces out those pins just so nothing bends. So I'll probably just sell that on Facebook with the old cooler. It's all in good nick, it's just got too old for me and doesn't do the job anymore. So I'm going to put the new one in without bending any pins and proceed from there. It all feels good. So now we're going to pull down our locking pin. There we go. The new cooler is in. Looks right at home. It actually sits a lot nicer than the other one. The heat sink's about double the size, so it clears the RAM a lot better than the old one did. And it has pretty lights, so it'll run a lot faster than the other one. Pull the cover off for the front 3 fans and pull the filter out. As you can see, it is a mess, and so is the cover. It's all full of dust, so I'm going to clean all this out, stick that back on. There's my beautiful cable management. Yeah, I'll stick that back on, start it up, and then hopefully everything will boot up and I can apply the update. So jumping to the next night now, I plugged in the processor, did all the BIOS updates as it said to online, and still couldn't get it to work. So I went out today and bought myself a new motherboard, which has the chipset suited for my processor. So I'm going to be putting all that in. I'm going to take the time. I went out and bought these extra bits and pieces to clean the old thermal compound off and some new thermal compound. So I'm going to clean up the processor, clean up the heatsink, well, fan, whatever you want to call it. Swap the motherboard over and hope that everything works. It should work. I've been told that there's just a chance that it won't work by doing the BIOS update, so this is a kind of for-sure way of making sure that everything's going to work. New motherboard is in and I've plugged everything back in. All seem to go back together quite nicely. So now I'm going to pop the processor in, get the fan on, and hopefully it all works. Everything is now plugged in and connected, so I'm going to plug in the power, switch it on, and see what happens. Alrighty, as you can see, we've got the RGB Wraith spinning up and looking good. And to make things even better, it is all working. We have finally managed to make it post, and it looks incredible. So it took a while for it to boot up for the first time. It kind of cycled through everything and made sure it knew what was actually there. And now we are back onto the setup and we can start getting back into some editing. Really excited to see how this processor turns out. It's about 3 days later since I recorded anything, and I've decided to buy myself a graphics card while I'm here. Got the processor all working, managed to get it all posting. Ran a lot nicer than it did. My rendering times in Premiere Pro for a 15-minute video have gone from about an hour and a half to about 5 minutes. So I had a massive increase in that department, but still lacking a fair bit in terms of video card performance. So I've gone out and bought a RTX 2060 gigabyte card, same as what my old one was. So this is a 1050 Ti, so massive improvement, about 120% on paper in terms of performance, so it should be a great upgrade for the computer. I don't know how I missed this. Here's my current benchmarks results. This is done on userbenchmark.com, and I'll pop up my results from my old setup soon. I only did with the old graphics card. The CPU had already been changed, but my results have jumped up a fair bit. Still a bit lower than what I expected, and as I came through I saw my SSD's lacking a bit. That's quite an old one, so that's due for a replacement. Same with my old hard drive. And I actually saw that my RAM is well under its potential. It's only running at 2000 megahertz. It's 3000 megahertz RAM, And I just had a look here. I haven't actually enabled XMP, the extreme memory profiling, which I had enabled on my old old motherboard. Now that it's completely been changed, I completely skipped past enabling that. So I'm going to jump into the BIOS, re-enable that. So I've just enabled XMP in the BIOS, restarted, and you can see, well, this is what I had before. You would have just seen this, 85, 87, and 98. We have now jumped up to 86, 91, and 99. Only small changes, but just shows that just that little bit of extra RAM speed does actually make a difference. There's some footage there of the new RGB CPU cooler that came with the processor. Just turn the brightness right down so you can see that in full effect. Got the RGB RAM as well, so I'll be setting that back up to run RGB. There's our Gigabyte 2060 RTX, which you can just make out through the glass. A bit dirty in there. There you go, RTX. Bit of a shame there's no RGBs on that. Not super fussed. I definitely want to get a new RGB fan up in the back there. That would kind of bring it all together. But no, it actually runs really well. I'm very happy with how it's all turned out. My rendering times have been insane. They've dropped by 400%, so that's made the big difference for me. It's going to be better for gaming. I love to do a bit of gaming here and there, so all round performance has gone up a fair bit. I apologise if this is a video a lot of people won't be interested in. I just thought, since it's something that I'm spending a fair bit of money on, and it's kind of, I guess, the start of my YouTube career by spending the money and time to get this computer right, I just want you guys to see and kind of experience and go through the whole process with me. YouTube isn't one of those things that's just going to happen overnight. It's taken me a lot of time. I've been doing it for 6 months. I've got under 200 subscribers. I get about 50 views a video. It's nothing amazing, but you've got to start somewhere and keep at it. I'm really happy with what I'm doing at the moment. I've got all the gear there. My friends are really supportive of what I'm doing. Other creators are supportive of what I'm doing, especially Zach. He's one of the biggest, I guess, other suppliers of content that I've been able to, had the pleasure of meeting. He's a great guy, and being able to chat to him about that has actually been really good for me, and it's motivated me to do a lot more creation for you guys. So a massive shout out to him. He's a great person. He's made such a big difference in my life in the short amount of time that I've known him. And things are definitely going for the better. I'm enjoying making videos. Like I was saying, I'm so motivated to get out new content, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I will see you guys in the next video.
You